Okay, so in this video, we're going to use a creative request form in Airtable to generate a standard list of asset types. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Green. I'm the owner of Optimize IS, and we build systems just like this for a bunch of different companies all day long. So if you're interested, you can check out the link in the description and request to book a time with me or someone on my team. But without further ado, we're just going to jump right into this creative request form and keep on building this out. So in this form, what we're going to want to add is a section down here for creative requests, like the deliverable request. So I've already created this creative request form in the last video showing adding a bunch of this other stuff like line of business, what location, due date, if it's a short due date, a reason for a short timeline. I'm going to add a new group down here, and this is going to be deliverable requests. I like adding the background color. And if I go back on the data side, I created this table just to show some of these different asset types. So this is a formula where it's just concatenating the platform and size and a little separator. And now I want to link this to the projects table because my requests are built off of the projects table. Before I get too far into this, I also need to come in here and add a field, single line text. If you didn't notice a second ago, I copied that platform field, and now I have all those same exact platforms. Although this one I'm going to switch to a multi-select for the form. And I'm going to say asset types. You can select any of the asset types whereby the platform is dynamic. Okay, so this is not ideal. Let's see if I switch this over here to single line text and see if I can get that to do it. So I want to only be able to select the platforms where I've chosen this. Okay. So maybe let's try, although if it's a formula, I don't think this is exactly going to work the greatest. So, okay, so this isn't going to work in form. So how do I make this work? The way that I make this work is I change this to be a linked record to a new table called platform. So instead of I can't combine a single select and a multi-select. So actually, what if I just make, even though this is only ever going to be one value, maybe if I just make that a multi-select, sorry, backtracking a little bit here, and I make this one a multi-select. Just change up my colors just to make things look pretty. If I can't use this as a multi-select, what I'm going to have to do is use that other table. So we're going to filter this based on a condition where the platform has any of platform. Okay, sweet. So it just has to be the same field type. I was going to go with a linked record there, but that should be just fine. So back here in the form, what I want to do is I want to include select your platforms. We're going to make this a toggle box like that. And now select your asset types. So we always want to show that field layout. We can say it's going to be in pill form. This I'm not necessarily going to say required, but let's check out and see like what this looks like now. What I want to have happen is if they add the checkbox for digital, I only want to show the digital ones. Sweet. So there's only digital showing up. Now if I say social, it's digital and social. If I uncheck digital, now it's all of them. And if I don't check anything, if I uncheck digital, it should be only social. If I uncheck all of them, it should be all of them. Sweet. So now what I can do is I can say, come in here and choose asset types. The only downside that I see with this is it does force you to select it one by one. There's other forms that do this slightly better, where you can just keep selecting linked records. But it is what it is. This is already much improved by just being able to have this dynamic little checkbox here. And you may have a point if I just added all of these asset types as a multi-select. I just don't love it as a multi-select. I want to have the team that's going to be using this have a little bit more control over that. So once this is submitted, let's start filling out some of this information. If I had chose indoor instead, this would only show indoor conference spaces. The due date is the 19th. Oh, shoot, that's too short. So let's say 26. Now I don't have to give a reason. Priority medium, text goes there, and let's submit that. Okay, so that's good to note. Can't choose corporate office anymore. So let's choose conference space. And now that I have submitted that, I now want to go back and edit this because I want the whole user experience to be the same for locations. I want to show it as a pill, not as the big thing. And I want to only, should I only enable them to select one location? Maybe this could be for multiple locations. Maybe it's a multi-location request. Not going to discount that. So social, sweet. Okay, so now let's go back to the interface and see this request that just came in. So this is my request. If I open this up, okay, I deleted that field. So just doing a little bit of cleanup here. I deleted the field, and since I've edited this, now I've added a title. So this is just where all the requests come in. Things come in here. I want to make things editable still. You can change the title. This is called tasks. I think I'm going to leave it called tasks for now. But what I want to have happen is I want to be able to assign. So like the submitter chose, here's all the asset types I want to work with. I want it to create a record for each one of those tasks. That way I can start assigning designers to these tasks. So let's see what I have to do. Tasks, I want to be able to link to my asset types. And team, let's see. So I have all these designers, and I want to kind of map their capabilities. So I'm actually just going to link them to asset types. So video, well, we have 5 designers. Let's just choose 3 of them to focus with. And let's actually just, should I delete? No, let's keep all 5. But I only have 3 of these people. Depending on the asset type, not all of them can work on them. So I'm actually going to say Avery Johnson is doing those. Social, let's make a little pattern here, is done either by Avery or Blake. And then let's say Casey is the only one who does video. So I would like to look at it like this. So I can see, okay, there's a little bit of a mix in here, but actually it could be Avery or Blake that do any of those. And then it could be Casey. Let's see. Casey or Blake can do those 3 types. Actually, I guess it would make more sense if they could only do maybe that Bella, we're going to say, doesn't have the capability to do 8K or 4K video. Okay, so new request came in. I don't currently have an automation where it's going to do what I want to do it to do next. So new request comes in. I want to assign it to a creative director, the right project manager, and generate all of the tasks. This is going to be really fun because I'm going to be able to do all of this in one if I really want to. And how would I know? Let's see. So I'm going to change that one to be when a record matches conditions. And let's say this runs, instead of when a record is created, when a record matches conditions. It's going to be in that projects table when asset types is empty. This is going to go find the proper person in the team table. So maybe depending on the location type for my project manager, they may only do specific ones. So projects, we had corporate, indoor, outdoor. Just get these values in here. So indoor, outdoor. Okay, so Alex Johnson, if it's a corporate event or corporate request, Alex is gonna be the PM. If it's an indoor or outdoor, it's gonna be Bella. So I'm gonna say, so this is saying new project came in. I need to go find the person on the team, whereby the condition is that the location type has any of condition, location type name. Let's run this test on that last one that I submitted, which is that the 5th one? So new record should be where asset types is not empty. That's why I didn't get 13. Okay, 13. So let's see what it gives us. Should give us one record in this test. Sweet. So I gave it Bella to us. There's only one creative director, so it's going to go find the one creative director. I then want to go update this and assign the PM. So based on this find records action, insert all the record IDs. Usually I would probably want to set up some sort of a notification to the team to do like a Slack message, Teams message, or an email to the team to say your request has been submitted, and maybe even copy the requester so that they know it's being handled, it's being triaged by our PMs. So new request comes in, that happens. Now we're going to do a repeating group. This is a very efficient automation, I will say. Because we're doing all of this in one. We could have like 3 different automations that do each of these things, but this is just a little bit more efficient than that. So it's going to repeat for every item in the asset types that we created or that we selected on the intake form. It's going to create a record in tasks. Each task is linked to a project. Each task is linked to an asset type in this example. Asset types is going to be the thing we're looping through, which is going to be the ID. Projects is going to be this triggering record right here. Status, we're going to default that to do. Well, actually, let's go to our tasks statuses and add a needs assigned. Because it's not to do yet. It still needs assigned. So status is going to be needs assigned. Let's see what other defaults we want to set. Task name. Let's use the name of the deliverable. Description, due date, priority. This is where usually I'd set up some rules around like the number of days after the request or before the due date of the request that I'd have things due. I'm not quite there yet, so let's leave that as is. Priority. Did we have priorities on the request form? All right, so same low, medium, high. So let's actually, we should just make that a lookup field instead. Okay, so let's test this out. We can't test this automation because we're using repeating groups. But what we can do is we can go into the data layer and duplicate our project record, make it think we're doing this again. So now if I go to the interface, I go to the overview, this request right here, it's looping through these right now. It's creating one for each of these. And I want to enable the PM to come in here and update the directly responsible individual, the due date, and the priority, and the reviewer, and I want to be able to see the status, of course. So now we should change this. I want to enable sort, search, filter, group for the PM. Come in here, enable them to edit things, but let's check out this DRI field. We have not added conditions yet. I only want the PM to be able to select the right people. So I want to enable them to only select the team members where they have the capability to create these assets. So this one, it's only Avery Johnson. This one, it's only Avery Johnson. Video, it's Bella or Casey. So that's perfect. Love to see that. And I think that's good. So now we have done an intake, and this is now like processed it. It's looped through all of our deliverables that we want to create. You could either call this deliverables, or you could call it tasks. But now the PM can come in here, and maybe after it gets assigned, we just want to say task assigned when a record matches conditions in the tasks table, which means the DRI is not empty. Update the task with the record ID and update it to be to do. Let's actually also say that only do this if the status is needs assigned. That way it works properly. Let's go back in the interface and see how that works. When you turn that on, it's not going to work retroactively. That's a common question or common misconception. It's only going to work on new ones that I apply to that. So if I assign Avery Johnson, boom, to do. If I assign Avery Johnson, boom, to do. If I come down here and assign Casey Lee and I assign Bella, to do, and digital Avery. Sweet. So that's it. That's how it works. Assign PM, you also see this came in here. As the creative director, I probably want to see these grouped by the assigned PM when I come in here. So you can see these ones don't have an assigned PM because they just don't. This one is also unique. When I go into assign PM, I should only be able to select where the role of said person is a project manager. I don't want to have to pick through the whole list of people. That one's going to be Bella. That one's going to be Alex. That one's going to be Bella. Sweet. So that's how you kind of take it from the intake and now get it in here to where it can now be triaged and you can assign the right people to it. And this really only works well. If I look down here at the 14th one, it's now assigned these tasks and kind of loop through these pretty well. So if you want a copy of this base, again, I think I mentioned it in the last video, leave some comments in the comments section and I may be able to give this out. You can copy it, you can duplicate it, create a version for yourself and see how I did all these automations and formulas and forms. But this is just the start of this creative workflow. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see me keep going through this, I'm going to do some approval processes and quite a few more things for resource allocation and content review, deliverable review, creating views for the creative director, project managers, and designers in the interfaces. It's in the video here in the end screen, by the way. Click the video here in the end screen, either on that side or maybe right in the middle. So check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.